Alright, Hazbin Hotel lovers. All of us have, I think, seen season 2 and we have all finished it. They're in the works on season 3 as well as season 4. They're working on both of them at the same time, but of course we will get season 3 before we'll get season 4, and it's going to take a couple of years for that to come out. So we're going to be impatiently waiting, but it's going to be so much fun. It's so worth it. This last season, Vox was the main villain. Since before that was Adam. I want to know who you think the villain is going to be in season 3. My personal opinion, I think it's going to be Lilith. And here's why. You can vote to cancel me if you want, but here is my opinion and my theory on why I think it's going to be her. She chose to walk out on her family, for starters. She left behind Lucifer and Charlie. She left behind her child. If your marriage isn't working out, okay, that is one thing. You want to walk away from each other. But Lucifer's still in the mindset that they are married. He has portraits displayed of them all over his living space. And Charlie is still in the mindset that her parents are still together also. But she chose to walk away, not just from her husband, but from her child. A daughter that she gave birth to and gave this utopia idea of that sinners can redeem themselves and go to heaven. Not only that, Lute even pointed out at the very end of season 1 that if Lilith does not handle her child, Lilith would not get to stay in heaven and have the cushy lifestyle that she has been thriving and living off of for the past 7 years. The past 7 years, okay? So she's been living that life, and she's been actively avoiding phone calls from her daughter, and I would assume also, sadly, Lucifer. That poor sweet little duckling. He's such an angel. Well, technically he's one, but she's been avoiding phone calls from her daughter, and her daughter's been actively trying to call her over and over and over again and leaving her messages and wanting advice and wanting to hear from her mom because she really needs her. She wants that advice. She wants that comfort. And as a mom, you don't do that. You don't avoid your child. That is absolutely the worst thing you can do, is neglect them and not be there for them, especially in their time of need. And Charlie has been having a lot of those moments where she needs advice and needs someone to talk to. And of course, Vaggie's doing her best, and she's not as comfortable as talking to her dad about these things. And I know a lot of people probably not going to like hearing this, but she gets advice from Alistair, and honestly, Alistair does take care of her. He does give her really good advice. You see her lash out at him in season 1 when she thinks that he is mocking her, when she says, "You're always smiling, you're always acting like everything is okay." And he retorts and says, just because somebody's smiling, it doesn't mean that on the inside it's feeling something else. Using that smile as a weapon, using it as something to have control over your life and not let others see what is buried really deep down. It's like a power play, always wearing that smile, because then nobody knows how you're truly feeling. You're hiding behind that facade, you're hiding behind that mask. And that's what you need to do when you're supposed to be a leader, is essentially how that bubbles up to what he is saying. It's not, word for word. Of course I didn't use word for word. But he's actively taking care of her, actively helping do things. And yes, I know he has a total ulterior motive, but here's the other thing. He does say that everyone there is growing on him, that he's starting to have, a sense of something, almost like akin to that these are friends, these are people that he is caring about. And you really see that with Nifty, because Alistair does not like being touched. And if he does allow it, it's on his own terms. Just like he will openly, put a what some people call like a comforting hand on a shoulder. But in his own way, I think he does care, especially for Nifty. Nifty above all, because it's like a father to a child. I know that she's not an actual child, but she has that childlike mentality, and he takes care of her. To top that all off, he willingly lets Charlie hold his stuff and use it when they're in Cannibal Town. He doesn't let anybody use that, and that stuff is very important to him, and you see just how important it is to him in season 2 when it has been broken and a lot of his power that came from having that staff was taken away from him when he was attacked and nearly, deleted by Adam. And he really needs that stuff fixed. He really needs it to be able to do whatever it is he can do in his own way, whatever that little mind of his. Well, it's not little. Clearly, he is on like another level. He's like playing Go while everyone else is still playing checkers. Like he's playing something else. Like he is on a different level entirely. But to me, I don't think that he will be the villain. Like he'll be a villain, but I don't think he's going to be the villain. I don't think Viv would make it that obvious and that easy to predict on who it would be. I do believe wholeheartedly that it will be Lilith. Now, I could be wrong and come back, however many years later or whenever they announce everything, that it could be somebody else entirely, and we could all be taken for, a major surprise. But I do believe, Alistair will have his own moment, his own thing. But with them bringing Lilith in and her being like gone for so long and not having any context as to why, and her looking less than thrilled about having anything to do with hell in general, I do think that she could definitely be, the villain in it. But I want to know more on why she left in the first place and what has led her to, have a type of almost like resentment and for her to be avoiding her daughter as much as she has been. But I guess we won't know until it is released or we see more behind the scenes on what is to be expected. But I'm looking forward to it and actually knowing who the villain could be. To me, I think it could be Lilith, but who knows? I know we're going to be having an introduction into Angel Dust family, and we know his dad is absolutely horrible, so we'll get to see more of that. So at least we do know to expect that type of villain is Angel Dust's dad. So I guess we'll see what to expect when the time comes. So drop below who you think will be the villain in Hazbin Hotel come season 3.